we were able to close $15.86 million. Previous year was $14.83 million. We increased over $1 million, but when everything was adjusted for, we ended up finishing the year at $16.81 million, which was a net improvement in sales by $1.39 million. That is exactly how powerful it is to ask questions versus trying to pitch. And the reason you're not closing more probably isn't your pitch. It's the fact that you're trying too hard to sell instead of figuring out what the buyer actually needs. When you shift from trying to close the deal to trying to understand the person, everything starts to change from that point forward. And when your offer fits, the sale happens naturally. So let me show you how to make that shift. The first thing you need to ask yourself is why you're not closing more. Most likely it has everything to do with these two things. You're pitching more than you are trying to solve problems. When you're focused more on the pitch and not focused on trying to uncover the true problems that a customer has, you're going to slow the sales process down tremendously. And I know this from experience because the very first time that I really got into a real sales position was when I was selling for a gym. You took the customer around the gym and you showed them everything that was offered, and there was no training on how to actually discover somebody's problem, uncover it, dig in deeper to it and find out if it was a real one, and then you would try to close the sale afterwards. I probably had a 15 to 25% close rate, and that's how it went for years, probably 4 or 5 years. And it was that close rate for all of the sales professionals. And then I went into commercial sales at a bank and selling money. And the same thing. It was all about learning how to present and learning how to pitch and learning how to be better at public speaking. And that is all great. However, that was all about how great we are, how amazing we are, and people honestly didn't care about that. They wanted to know if you could solve their main problem and help them get from A to B. And it happened that way when I got into my third sales position after that. We did the same thing. We attracted customers. They would sit down with us. We would present or pitch our offer to them, and some took it, some didn't. I got better at that point. Our close rates went up to maybe about 50%, so we were doing pretty good. And then I got the confidence enough to go ahead and start my own business. In the beginning of that, I quickly realized that I was only closing 17% of them because I was following the same framework that I've been taught over the years, which was attract them to you, have them sit down, you pitch to them, or have a sales presentation. That was completely a misalignment with the customer. And as the business owner, I cannot enroll 1.7 people in a whole month if I only get 10 customers. I needed 8 of them or 10 of them every single month to sign up. So I had to change my angle. What I realized was everyone has a problem they're looking to solve. And your job as the sales professional is to find that problem and solve it for them. And the only way that you're going to do that is by asking questions and asking the right questions. When you can ask the right questions, you can uncover the real problem. And when you uncover the real problem, you start to realize what it is that you need to solve. And when you learn how to find out the needs of the customer, then you can really determine what alignment of your solution you have to their problem. If it's misaligned, there's no fit. There's no need to offer them anything, and they're not going to like it anyway, so don't sell. If your solution does align with their problem, then it's an easy fit. When you learn to solve their problem, you learn how to win any sales process. Here's how I know the DAG principle actually works. I tested this in a retail setting. I have a team of professionals that I train, coach, and empowered to close sales. So from January 1 to January 31st, I stepped into the sales specialist position and worked at that for 30 days. In those 30 days, I closed $110,000 worth of product. So it wasn't just services that you can use this with. You can use this to sell products just as easily as you sell services. What made this so powerful is that simple conversation that we would have with customers. Now, let's go back to my business. What did that do when I changed from trying to present to them the whole time and learn how to solve their problem? My attitude changed so much that I went from 17% through time, wasn't just overnight. I got to an 83% close rate. So that meant for every 10 people who came in, 8 of them signed up. All I had to do was crank up the marketing engine so that way it would feed me more and more customers because I knew that I could close 8 of the 10. To me, selling is a conversation. Closing is just a result of that conversation. In the next video, I'm going to show you the exact questions to ask that open people up, learning how to ask the right questions. It'll build instant trust and naturally guide the conversation toward a close. If you want better results, you need better questions. That's next.